Okay, I want to go through the basic operation of this tool. There's a lot going on with this tool. You're picking up a wide range of parts. You have a center of gravity shift, right here. Your left and right triggers will change the center of gravity. You have a clockwise and counterclockwise rotation. Now this only tilts this direction. The tool does not tilt to the left. So when hanging everything on your line, the operators need to be trained to set it up so the part hangs to the right. I'm going to pick up a couple of these smaller parts. We're not going to hang them up in this kind of makeshift paint line we got here, but just to prove we can do it. Now, when lining up these parts and gripping these parts, because you have a wide range of parts, we can't have a hard stop. You just pull in and know the exact right depth. So what I'm doing here is I'm lining up one jaw and then hitting grip. That gets your best point of contact for all those parts. Now I can shift the center of gravity to level it out. If you want it to tilt forward, you can shift it like that. You can run it whatever angle you think is best. But you have an anti-drop circuit. You can't release this in midair. Right now I cannot release this part, so I have to set it down to release it. And that's going to be the same for the paint line. There's a dual interlocking release there, so you do at the same time to release them. So you can't release them midair, and you have to hit the comment and the release and the comment and the grip to make either one of them happen. Now, I will go ahead and pick one of your larger parts here. When I try to get this as close to the center of the part as possible, and again, when I'm going to grip this, flatten it out. The left trigger, if you hold the left trigger all the way, we've got adjustable stops in here. Holding the left trigger will balance it basically in an unloaded state. Because the parts change weight, the right trigger allows you to balance where you're at, center of gravity wise, with the different weights. But you can always hit the left trigger to get it back to its home position at an unloaded state. So what I'm trying to do is I'm trying to take one of these jaws, it can be the right or the left, whichever one you see. I'm basically trying to push it up against one side to make sure it gets contact. And then I'm hitting grip for the other jaw to move. So I'll pull this over, kind of lock it in place, and hit grip. That typically does a pretty good job of getting it where it needs to be. Now we can tilt this forward or back. If you want to tilt this forward, great. Then I kind of just found I can rotate this about to there, and we're pretty good. There's something on this unit called flow mode, which I think is really helpful for doing this, especially because your line's going to be stopped. You tap this top left button on the G-force, and it balances out the load as it sits. So now I can come over here, grab this part, and what I would do, I try to get this hook right up against this back. For me, to have it hang to the right with this back plate on here, welded on here, the hook right in this position kind of keeps it trended to the right. This may be more of a rigid setup for you guys, which would be great, but we need this part to kind of tilt that way in order for us to pick it back up on the unload side. So you hear that click, that means the weight's been taken off the part. Now I can hold the left trigger to balance it back out, and I'll go back to level, for a second pickup. Now when coming off the line, you may want to tilt it forward back a little bit, and you may want to kind of look at matching that angle, which, you can do. And again, I'm lining up the right jaw here, and I'm going to hit grip. Now I can lift it up, and then once the weight's taken off, you see the weight off here is now off. If you want to put it in float mode, you can. And then you just tap that button. But the G-force will pick up the load as it sits. So if there's still weight on that hook, it's going to pick up that weight, and you won't be easily able to move it. So you want to make sure the bottom of the part is off the bottom of the hook, so it's no longer supportive when it's in flow mode. If you want to do this, I think loading it, flow mode is really important. Unloading it, maybe not as much. because now I kind of grab this hook here, you know, get it into the position I want it to be in on the unload side. You know, come down, wait for that little click. Now I can release it. Spinning a little bit, but it's hanging on it's hanging to the right angle. Maybe stop that, and I'll show kind of picking it up. You know, but again, I'll do this. You can kind of match the angle this way. You know, I kind of like to have it tilt a little bit. You know, get one of those jaws on. Come off manually as well. So it's really operator preference. Float mode for me is easier because I can put my hands in the part, put my hands on the hook, but coming off it, you can do it both ways. You can balance this back out. If you want to set it down flat, you can. That is the basic operation of this tool. For any questions, feel free to give us a call. Thank you very much.